All right. Welcome to Creative Collection NYC. We're here with the wonderful BushWoman in Prospect Park here and having a great time. Hot day, but we're here back at it. Tell us who you are and how you have helped the collective in over how many years?
Well, thank you for having me first and foremost. Thank you
You're
for
welcome.
having me. I appreciate the invite.
Mhm.
So my name is Najami Lezama, known as BushWoman. I created BushWoman's Conversations to bring women and men together to co-create healthier communities so we can thrive. And through conversations is how we heal. And within that collective, I have created a podcast called Conversations with the Bushwoman series. I'm a co-author for Stand Up Volume 3, Black Women Who Are Shaping the World with Their Faith. So first time co-author.
Wow.
I'm also a massage therapist for 40 years. I'm a pranic healer, chair yoga instructor. I'm a substance abuse counselor as well.
Wow.
And a mom and a friend and everything else,
Yeah.
and a flag woman. So I dance as well.
Yes.
So I'm a flag woman as well. So what I do by creating these different workshops and events, it helps people to release, it helps people to come together, to get to know. But I'm very much into the sharing of the conversation. So as a life coach, I'm a personal development awareness, fun life coach. And fun is a big, big part of it because as we get older, we stop having fun.
Yeah.
We get caught up into the word reality. And what is reality? Like you look at children run around free. You gotta free up yourself. So by bringing together cultural events, I'm also an educator as well. So I bring together cultural events, informational events with other organizations such as Juve Fest Collective, 2Js and Friends, and Prospect Park Alliance.
Yes, and shout outs to Miles 77.
And 7-7,
Aquiles,
yes.
shout out
Yes.
everybody.
7-7. Definitely I've been on 7-7 a couple
Right.
times. Yes. Shout out to Miles.
And why did they call you Bushwoman? You enter the herbs, you do that.
Bushwoman, the word Bushwoman came from me from spirit. Spirit, I was looking for the word. First I had Circle of Life Transformation. And I then Spirit was beating in my head, Bushwoman, Bushwoman. Now the word Bushwoman has a lot to do with my past. Being born in Trinidad and Tobago, everything was you made your own teas. You go in the yard. They will call me Charmaine, which is my other name. Go in the yard and pick some lime bud tea or some soursop leaf tea, or some or if you're seasoning something, go get some shadow benet. Go get certain herbs. So the word Bushwoman, the word woman is spelled WO/MAN. That means women and men together. So it is about us coming together, but also to going back to nature. When you die, you're going to go back to nature, either through the bury you or the cremate you, whatever. It's important for us to learn natural ways to heal ourselves, also tapping into our spirituality. It's important for us to tap into our spirituality. The answers lie within for everything. When you look at animals and animals get sick, the first thing they do is go eat some grass.
Right.
There's the same spirit that governs the universe, that governs you, me, everything is within animals.
Yeah.
All right, of all species. So they know what to eat, when to eat. All right, it's just that sometimes they're wiser than us because we overdo things.
That's right.
You know, we overdo things. So Bushwoman really comes from really tapping into your authentic, unapologetic side, being authentically you. A bushwoman or a bushman could be somebody who is working in a executive office, wearing red bottom shoes, having a private jet and a yacht, which I do want.
Okay. You are speaking
So
into existence now.
that's right. So it's not just somebody who's dealing with herbs and bush alone. It's somebody who's connecting to their divine, because the kingdom of heaven is within.
Amen.
Everything is within. All right. And we don't have to hold on to these limiting thoughts, beliefs that block us, but it comes with practice.
Right.
Yeah.
So we appreciate you for coming here in the Creative Collection because you make things better, and that's what we're about, talking about positive ways of how we can make things better for the collective as a people, as a unit. And you're all about that, and you have been doing that for over 40 years.
Well, yes, I have been. Well, first, let me start off. I was in the performing arts world first. That's where I started off. And so contributing my talents and my art, I guess, is part of the collective, universal collective on the whole. And through my life lessons and experiences, which is part of what my book is about, if I could give a plug for the book
Of
launch.
course, yes.
So I'm having a book launch coming up 8 on 8, I call it.
Wow.
It's on the 8th of August here at Lefferts House, Lefferts Historic House,
Yes.
452 Flatbush Avenue
Right.
off of Empire Boulevard. And I'm really interviewing 8 authors
Right.
who will be sharing excerpts of their book and their stories. And 2 of them are children, actually. One is 12 years old.
Amazing.
So she's an author. She's written 2 books.
Okay.
All right. And her brother is about maybe 7 or 8, somewhere around there, is into crystals. So he'll be talking about his love of crystals. So it's going to be a very interesting cast of amazing authors, including myself.
Right.
And this is just a continuation of the series of conversations with the BushWoman.
Very good. And shout outs to the authors, all the female authors, all the authors that will be a part.
Yes, we have Sonia Allen, Zanabia, I hope I'm saying not butchering her name, Zanabia Barnes, June Montgomery. We have brother Arthur Henry Kamore, his daughter Camilla Rose. I'm sure I'm butchering the young girl's name, and his other son. So this is going to be fantastic. We need to focus on encouraging our children to read more.
Yes.
Read, write, because unfortunately people judge you by the way how you speak.
Absolutely.
And when we read and become more educated, we are able to articulate, we're able to carry on a conversation. Too many of our young people are into the phones, and adults as well. You can see people hanging out together in a group and they're on their phones. They're not talking to each other. God gave you 1 mouth and 2 ears, right? So communicate, have conversations, and share intriguing thoughts. This is how thoughts are used or created to come up with ideas that we can help each other expand the collective, as you say.
Right. Okay, and shout out to the sponsors. You got Squeaky Clean Juices and Gym. I have all the herbs and the sea moss. And you got a son who does herbs as well, right? You
Yes.
plug him in as a sponsor as well.
Right. His product line is dragon tinctures, and he also creates, he has different dragon products. So his brand is Dragon, and he has herbs for relaxation, one to relieve stress, one that puts you into the purple dragon. So the green dragon is to relieve stress.
Okay.
The purple dragon helps you to sleep, go into deep sleep, into that theta state.
Right.
Then he has a red dragon, which gives you energy, which I have some in my bag actually. And his red dragon helped me to manage, like when I feel overworked and then I feel tired. So the red dragon absolutely works very well.
Wow. Okay.
Yes.
Thank you for that. We need him.
Yes.
Next one we're gonna bring BushWoman's son, and we thank you for coming out. And where can they find you?
So you can reach me on IG at BushWoman_convo, BushWoman_convo. TikTok is at BushWoman Say So, which is my tagline, BushWoman Say So. Facebook, I am BushWoman, and the word /WO/MAN Conversations Project. And Najami Lezama. I'm wearing a red jacket because I had an old Facebook page, which is still up, I see. And also YouTube channel, BushWoman's Conversations Project.
Nice. Thank you for coming, and peace, sister.
Thank you.
All right. I'm DJ Squeaky. Out.
All right, we're good. All right, so Creative Collection, we're back. I'm Goldfinger Visions. We're here with the beautiful BushWoman, of course. So the second question is, we're going to talk about forgiveness and trauma. I know we discussed that previously, like briefly in the past. So the question is, like, how can we get over past trauma, pain, hurt, and how can we, forgive ourselves and move forward properly?
Well, from my humble perspective,
Okay.
and what has worked for me,
All right.
is that you have to talk about it.
Okay.
You have to have conversations.
Right.
Because if you don't have conversations, how can you heal? First, you have to identify where the hurt came from.
Okay.
Forgive those who hurt you, which is a challenging thing for a lot of us to do.
Definitely.
Because I do like the saying, Father, forgive them for they know not what they do. Now, people, it appears as though they know what they're doing. But the deep layer that cause them to react or be this way is stuff that they too need to unpack. So hurt people hurt people.
Right.
I don't think that people are just inherently evil, even though sometimes you kind of like question that, yes. But it takes time. It's not something that's going to happen overnight. When you learn to forgive others, it makes your burden light. You're not carrying all of this angst and anger, which poisons the body.
Okay.
Because anger rules the liver. Now, how you know you forgive somebody is when you're able to be in their space and not get flustered and bothered by them.
Okay.
Right? Because I too have had to be in spaces with those who were not kind to me, who did things to me. When I see them, I cordially just acknowledge them and that's it. Okay. It doesn't mean that you have to bring them to your home.
Right.
You have to have tea, breakfast, lunch, or dinner with them. It doesn't mean any of that. It means that forgiveness is for you. Because then see them also as your teachers. Because everybody in your life, including your children, everyone is your teacher. And the biggest, the lessons are from the most painful experiences.
True, very true.
So then we start looking at our lives from a whole different perspective. Not just from the egotistical perspective, but from the perspective that, why did this happen to me? Okay. Why did I choose these characters who called parents, or these characters called brother, sister, or my child? Why am I in this scenario, and what is the lesson? So if you look at it from that perspective, you're able to see things from a deeper level.
Okay.
Yeah. So that helped me a lot.
All right. So what if the individual that caused the pain isn't accountable for their action and doesn't even acknowledge that they did anything wrong?
Well, the thing is that really doesn't matter whether they acknowledge or not, because that is they have to work on their stuff.
Okay.
What is important for you is for you to release all that pent up anger, emotion that's blocking you. Because if you have not learned to see the bigger picture, the lesson within the trauma that you went through, it will follow you into other relationships. Like, take example, domestic violence relationship, which I have been actually.
Okay.
And I had to understand what was the lesson in the relationship that I was in, but it doesn't mean it blocking me from loving another man. Okay. Or being in a relationship. If I had not learned to let go of that, and some of them, I have met them and I have said to them, thank you for this experience.
Okay.
Because it taught me how to love more deeply and to understand that I come first. I can't love anyone more than I love myself.
Okay, that makes sense.
If I'm in a relationship that's abusive, I need to recognize, okay, where's this coming from? And there's some more work I need to do. So I got to go back to the drawing board and tweak. Right? So again, seeing ourselves as spiritual beings having a human experience, that is such a deep statement.
Right.
People very casually say it. Your spirit in the body of a human, man, woman, animal, whatever. You're here for a certain period of time on earth. And some of us may have past life experiences. I believe in that. And don't get stuck on stupid, really, honestly.
So outside of, not being bothered by their presence, what if you're still replaying certain events in your head?
You will. Yeah.
So is that a form of not getting over it, or what is that exactly?
Well, it's a form of you're still carrying residues from the experience. I mean, the scenarios will still play on your head when you see them, right? You'll remember what and what they did. But it's a constant work. It's something that you gotta keep working on. If you wish, you can write the person a letter or confront them for clarity. Listen, I need to talk to you about XYZ, what happened to me or what you did. Or write them a letter. Sometimes the letter can be given to them personally, or if not, you write the letter yourself, because these are pent-up feelings you have inside of you. You write the letter, you can burn it to release it, tear it up, flush it down the toilet.
Okay.
But it's important for you to do your own healing. Some people will never acknowledge or take responsibility for the things that they did.
Right.
They will blame you and say, well, it was your fault. And then you go through this back and forth verbal gymnastics. It's not about that.
Okay.
You know, it's like about you letting go. Because again, hurt people. So we don't know whoever it is that did certain things. That's why it's important to have conversations. Get therapy. Get some psychotherapy if you need it. Get a life coach.
Okay.
Talk to someone to help you to blossom beautifully in God's garden.
All right, it's your boy Design, BushWoman. We here. What can make it better? We're gonna jump right into this question. So, how you doing?
I'm blessed. I'm good.
All right.
Thank you. Thanks
Okay.
for having me.
All right, and we're thankful to have you with us. You know, spreading this good energy and stuff like that.
Mhm.
So, I got a nice question for you. If you feel like, do you feel like perception is more important than reality, and if so, why?
Great question. For one, I think reality is bullshit. Honestly, what is reality? What is reality to you? May I ask you that question?
Reality is a construct that somebody tried to create a logical sense of what's going on.
So it's a construct. So it's something that somebody create. Now, perception. Everybody have their own perception. I'm sure you've seen this piece of art where they drew something, and they ask you, well, what do you see? The one with the old woman and the young girl, or there's one with a rabbit and it looks like a hand. Everybody have their own perception. That's why it's important to ask questions. Ask proper questions.
Mm-hmm.
We don't ask proper questions.
Mm-mm.
We go based on our feelings, and we don't employ emotional intelligence, which is all part of the perception. And the reality, now your reality and my reality are two different things, but my reality, what I consider reality, from one I know is a construct. So what is presented to us on television or in the world is a construct created within the matrix.
Mm-hmm.
So it's created within the matrix. You can create your own reality, so to speak, based on your perception of how you see life working for you.
Mm-hmm.
Okay? If you feel that, like some people say, I cannot travel by myself, especially women. Oh, I'm afraid to travel by myself, it's dangerous, whatever. Whose reality, because you know how it is out there, and so and so and so. I said, well, who are you following? Who told you that? And even if they did tell you that, is that true? We don't question our thoughts. We don't question the things that we hear within our own ego, because the ego will fool you and give you false realities about things that are not true, right? So you have to question some of the thoughts that limits us, limiting beliefs, thinking thoughts
Fear.
that blocks us, yes, create the fear. We're afraid to go outside. We're afraid of the boogeyman under the bed when there's no boogeyman. With COVID. So when COVID came about, people were so scared and afraid to come outside, especially Black or African people.
Scared of the air.
Scared of the air. And I work at a local hospital, so the Fort Greene Park is close to where I work. And the Caucasian folks were out there having picnics, getting vitamin D from the sun, while Black people were cowering inside, afraid to come outside. We're buying into somebody else's construct. COVID is something that has been around for, let me just say, for years, thousands of years.
Thousands?
Listen, it's a form of a cold.
I thought it was like 67 years or something like that.
It has been on your Lysol can for years. I don't know how long Lysol has been around, but it has always been on Lysol cans, okay? They have colds. There are different variants of colds, all right? You have the flu. Some have fever. Once you know how to take the right herbs and the right things, you can get over it. But again, we are afraid to live life on our own terms.
Mm-hmm.
We want to impress our parents. The culture, the norms, the mores within the culture. There are certain things I think that should be respected, like respecting the elders, raising each other up as a collective, doing things positively, living your life with integrity and operating from a place of integrity as well, and of positive intention, good intentions, because you're creating good karma or negative karma based on how you choose to live your life. And forgiving yourself in the process of the things that you have done that you were ignorant of. It's important for you to forgive yourself with the wrong misconception or the wrong perception you had when you were younger. you know, and you thought that I was looking for love in the wrong places. I was following a certain crew who taught me certain things that wasn't right, right?
Right.
So you have to forgive yourself for that. And then how you forgive yourself is by your action, right action.
Loving yourself.
Loving yourself and living each day with intentional purpose. Intentional purpose meaning that if I am accustomed dropping garbage on the ground, I make it a point to hold it and put it in the garbage container on the street. If I have garbage or paper, I am not going to throw it on the ground. Wait until I get. That's it, keeping the environment clean. All right. There are certain things that we do. I like this example. If you living with a woman and she said, honey, please keep the toilet seat down after you use the bathroom, right? But you don't make an intentional practice of putting it up because you're only thinking about when you go to the bathroom. So she comes up at night now to go to the bathroom. The lights are off. She knows where the bathroom is. She goes to sit down and plunk, she falls into the toilet, right? Just making the intentional effort to
it's
do,
like she trusted you.
Exactly. To do the right thing, right? So again, you know, it's living life on your own terms, which is, I think, is your perception of things. You know, sometimes your perception can be skewed, yes. But that's why, again, conversations are important.
Just having a breakdown of understanding that perception is on some level a level of delusion, then you can say, okay, you can purposely manipulate things and use it in that sense of, okay, I'm gonna alter this perception of this for myself because, you know, I'm unequally yoked here, so let me do these things. So your awareness can lead you to, you know, stray away from ignorance, basically. Besides just being like, yo, let me follow the guise of perception that's given to us fully, and not utilize perception in a manner where you can paradigm shift things. You can switch things around, because a lot of times I feel like this is like, you know, a building block where you have to do things differently. Yeah, you don't want to be in the matrix and stuff like that. Okay, we in the matrix, but I think we also need to realize that there's a lot of options and a lot of choices that we have to make. Like I heard something about we all born with a certain amount of life force, and we make decisions, and things that we do are the things that's gonna increase our life force or decrease it, and that's 100% true. You can be born and it could be like, all right, you're gonna be 70 years old off the rip, but if you do certain things to harm your body or create stress in your life, you're gonna decrease that number down. So what matrix is that, when that's just an actual part of what you're dealing with? You have to have a mindset that's like, all right, let me create a way for me to have a stronger life force. What are you going to do to do that? Something positive. So now you got to create positivity.
But education is a continuous thing. You have to keep learning things every day. You don't just go to school because you're living in earth school. This is an earth school. Education is not just having your master's or BA or whatever. It's a continuous process. So what it is that you do, first thing, what are you watching on a daily basis? When you get up in the morning, if the first thing you do is put on the news.
Oh, Lord.
I have not watched one newscast about what happened to Mr. T. Okay? I haven't watched one. All I just hear is chatter. If the news is the first thing, that's the wrong way to start your day. Right? We have to get into the habit of emotional intelligence again by what we listen to. So the first thing when I get up in the morning, whether it's 4 or 5 or 6, I listen to something positive, whether it's on Clubhouse. I want to plug Breakfast for Champions. That's a fabulous, fabulous Clubhouse group. And Resilient Black Women, and how that helped me to become a co-author, actually. Listening to things and people of the collective that nourishes your spirit, gives you a growth mindset, because, and then reading things and doing things and living a life from a place of integrity. Integrity is a big piece with me. I'm not saying that I'm not full of, you know, mistakes. But my mistakes, I try not to repeat certain mistakes on a continuous basis. And to have friends, people around you who will hold you accountable for what you say and what you're going to do. That's a very important. I have friends like that who will tell me and hold me accountable for certain things that I say and do, and remind me. So surrounding yourself with positive people, which is of utmost importance. Surrounding yourself with positive people. Some people you have grown away from them. That includes family as well. All right, you've grown away from them. They're not on your level of thinking because you're expanding your consciousness. You're reading stuff. You are not saying that you're better than, and in some ways you are. And there's nothing wrong with being selfish either.
You gotta give yourself credit a little bit.
Yes, exactly. Some people say I don't want to be
feel
selfish.
Like you're the best on some level. Just don't be cocky.
Don't be cocky, but from a point that you need to be selfish with yourself and with your spirit, because Ayan Van Sant says, a saying which I love, that you gotta fill your cup. Fill your cup, and what overflows is for y'all. What overflows the cup is for everybody else.
And that's how everybody should be looking at it too.
Exactly.
Everybody should want your cup to be filled. Nobody should want you to be like, oh.
But jealousy and envy creates those issues. So you got people who will, you have sibling rivalry, jealousy. Some of your own friends may be jealous because you are doing something unique that they did and wish that they could do, and they can't. I have people who have been jealous of me for stupid things. I'm like, are you serious? You know, just even being tall, you know, and beautiful or whatever. You have to carve out your own niche. What people think of you is none of your business. What people think of you was not, and you cannot please everybody. It's impossible.
You're right.
It's impossible. You have to make yourself happy. Today, one of the questions on Clubhouse is, what does happiness mean to you? How do you find happiness? Happiness is an inside job. It's like love. Love is an action word. It's a verb. You got to start loving yourself for all that you are, all that you're not, and all that you can be. Accepting yourself, all that you are, all that you're not, and all that you can't, that you are about to be. So I like to say we are perfect in our imperfected states.
Yeah. I definitely like that. I say that to people, and I've been saying that often. We are perfectly imperfect, and I feel like the more we embrace that, the better off we're going to be psychologically, spiritually, mentally, physically, whatever, because we perfectly imperfect. Now, that doesn't mean to run around and do wildness and not behave in a good manner. Just accept that you're imperfect first, so that way you can get to the benchmark that you want to be at, which is your balance.
And also helping people too. If you see somebody, like I was coming here and a sister, well, I call her a sister, she's a spirit in a Caucasian body, right? And she was dizzy and her boyfriend was trying to hold her, and I had some water in my bag. I said, here, you want some water, right? A woman was coming down again on my way here, her bike, coming down on a bike with her boyfriend, and her cap fell off. And they were all the way down the road. So I crossed the street and I picked up the cap for her because cars were coming and they was going to run over the cap. Right? We see things, we see people in distress, we see people needing help, help them. Yeah. If you live good with your neighbors and you cook food, give them some. Or you go to a pantry, give them some. I do that with my neighbors. Before, when I grew up in a culture where, in Trinidad and Tobago, where we used to pass food over the fence and give to neighbors and things like that. So that was ingrained in me. So in certain cultures, like here, because here everybody's kept separate. That's why I sent my son away to live in the Caribbean twice, even though he was born here. I wanted him to understand seeing black people having leadership positions, a black prime minister, a black president. I wanted him to see that being a rapper and a basketball player is not only it. I wanted him to be in an environment where he lived in an environment like this with trees. He climbed mango trees. I wanted him to understand connecting to nature. Now he's a bushman because now he's making his own herbal tinctures and things of that nature, right? But we are all bushwomen among all bushmen. And we need embracing that, meaning anytime you are confused, you're upset, you feel depressed, come to the park, walk to the beach, take off your shoes, walk bare feet, let the ions from the earth absorb your negative energy, or lie down on the grass. Laying down on the grass is the most awesome experience. You can feel the earth absorbing all your negativity. Or walk to the sea. Even if you're afraid of water, just walk, let the waves wet your feet.
I literally did that last night.
Yeah, talk to the sea. You know, put your hands there, say mama yamaya, ocean. And before you go, I'm gonna just say this caveat, before you go into the sea and bathe, always ask permission. You have to ask permission before you enter the sea. It's part of the Orisha system. Okay, I always ask permission. All right, I've almost drowned quite a few times. I got saved from the sea as well. But I'm saying that to say is that when you feel stressed, when you feel, not sure what to do, Go hug a tree. Even hugging a tree. Who cares who watches you? Who cares? Hug a tree. Be around nature, and you'll get the answers to what it is that you're looking for. Because you have to be around nature.
Yeah, it's definitely something that's new to me, being in nature. But when I go in nature and I want to find something out, I find it out.
Yeah.
But I just gotta be ready. I can't go in unclear about if I want to find something out. I figure things out.
Anything you want to do in your life moving forward, you should always connect with Spirit. Spirit, what to wear. I asked Spirit to dress me last night. I said, Spirit, okay, I'll have this interview to do, what to wear. If I'm in a situation where I feel like I want to cuss somebody, I say, okay, Spirit, please take the wheel. How to answer this question, how to deal with this situation here, because you know I'm ready to go ballistic on this person, right?
You gotta
so I have to connect with Spirit. So connect with Spirit on a consistent basis to handle all your troubles, and it will tell you, because the kingdom of heaven is within. Everything is within you. You're powerful. You're great. Do not buy into the false perceptions of society or the false reality of the matrix. Seek and ye shall find. Ask and it is given.
Yes.
So my IG, my social media account information again is BushWoman_convo. I'm a personal development awareness fun life coach. I create fun workshops and experiences. On TikTok is at BushWoman Say So. YouTube, BushWoman's Conversations Project. I am developing and growing as well. And I'm going to have my book launch here at this fabulous LEFFERTS Historic House. Here we have The Art of the Ancestral Whispers by Adama Delphine Fadu. I hope I'm saying her name correctly. And this exhibit is going to be up, and we're going to have a tour of this exhibit for the Carnival Bus Tour as well. So on August the 8th, book launch with 8 authors. I'm calling it 8 on 8, 6 to 7 p.m. Come by, please support this channel. Creative Collection NYC. Support these beautiful bushwomen and bushmen who are doing things to inform thought leaders and game changers in the community.
Yes. So there we have it, y'all. We got more questions for her, so we're gonna do a part 2 for this. Thank y'all. What can make it better? Creative Collection. Signing out, y'all. QGTN.